Welcome back, everybody. Taking your phone calls, 412-575-2600. Also taking your tweets at Josh Taylor HD. Hanging out in studio with Ron Cook from 93.7 The Fan and the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Talking a lot about the Penguins. Marc-Andre Fleury going to the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Also, Pirates and the bullpen issues have been a hot topic in the recent days. So we're taking your phone calls and your tweets. We do have a couple phone calls here. Of course, they're about Marc-Andre Fleury. We'll start with, I believe it's Shar in North Hills. Shar, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. I was wondering, why didn't Fleury keep his number? I've noticed other Penguins leave and they have their number when they go to other teams. Is there a reason for that?
I think you're talking about the jersey he wore last night.
Yeah.
17. It was 17.
Yeah.
It's
the year
2017.
They all wore 17
They all wore
last night.
Oh, so he'll still keep his number when he goes.
Probably, I
More
would
than
guess.
likely.
Right.
More than likely.
But the
probably
17 was because of the year that he was picked.
Yeah, it wasn't because of a very heavy appreciation for Brian Rust, in case you were wondering. It's because it's, I'm kidding. It's because it's 2017. But interesting question all the same. Let's go to Tom in Greenfield. Tom, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Hello.
Yes.
I enjoy your show. I watch you every night, all of you. But I'd like to ask a question. The Pirates manager, Bob Papiano, said he lost 70 pounds. It doesn't look like he lost 70 pounds, maybe 10 or 20, but not 70. I watch your show all the time, and I get a kick out of it, and they better leave my cousin alone. Thank you. Goodbye. God bless you.
Thanks. That's it.
Who said Hurdle's lost all this weight?
There was a report that I believe it was either Rich Walsh, I think he did during spring training, talking about how Clint Hurdle actually lost a considerable amount of weight. I believe it's for health reasons. I think that's what it was. And clearly they don't believe it was 70 pounds. But, hey, even if it's 70 or 40, good for him.
God bless him.
He looks better. If you can drop weight at that age,
Absolutely.
you've already done well for yourself. Who cares about the numbers? The numbers are details. Let's go to Donald in Washington. Donald, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Thanks, Josh, for taking my call. Really love the show. Big
Appreciate you
fan.
calling in.
I'm a busy guy, and I love watching the show. But my question right now is about Clint Hurdle. He seems to be making all the wrong moves at all the delayed times. Your thoughts on this, the McCutcheon move, the bullpen? He just doesn't seem like he's making the right moves at the right time.
Well, they're 33 and 40 for a reason, so he's not making great moves. That was a great call right there.
That was an amazing call. That was a very odd-sounding, that was a very familiar-sounding voice, wasn't it?
That sure was.
With an interesting name like Donald from Washington, if I didn't know any better, I'd think,
Nah.
Let's go to Tim in Clearfield. Tim, you're on the Nightly Sports Call. You there, Tim?
Yeah, I'm sure. I guess not watching. Okay. Am I on?
Yes, you're on. What you got?
Sorry. Hey, I called in last night because I was watching that awards ceremony,
Yes.
and I thought that was pretty bad. And I figured I'd call in to your show and think everybody would be upset. No one said a word, basically, about the awards. And basically, Mike Sullivan, not even in the top three of coaches.
Yes.
How can that be?
That's a good call.
Because he has Malkin and Crosby?
That's a
not
big
right.
reason. Those guys, he and Rutherford both start off in a little bit of a hole because they have two of the best players in the world. It's hard for them to win the awards. I think he finished 8th, Sullivan, which is ridiculous.
That's a joke.
I don't care if he finishes 1, 2, 3, but not 8th. But, hey, he's not going to complain. He got the biggest trophy of all, the one he wanted more than any other, 2 years in a row. I'm sure he can live with the way the Coach of the Year votes went.
Even when you take away the Crosby and Malkin part of the equation, the fact that he dealt with so many injuries to each of his goaltenders, injuries to Chris Letang, injury to Trevor Daley, he lost very significant parts of this lineup throughout the season and still managed to find a way to have this team second in the NHL in points and still win a Stanley Cup. If for no other reason, you probably take that into account. Now, the problem is the voting ends before the playoffs, I believe.
Right.
So that's not taken into account. They go strictly by the regular season. But even if you go by that, you still kind of he's still better than top 8.
Right, and it's not always easy to manage the star players. They have egos involved here, and he has managed to unlock the key to the success of all of those guys. And I think he's just a tremendous coach, but again, I don't think he much cares about where he finished in Coach of the Year voting.
I would agree the same thing with Jim Rutherford. As far as, granted, Jim Rutherford was a GM.
He won it last year.
But also had the Stanley Cup. I'm sure he does not mind at all not winning it 2 years in a row. But the Cup 2 years in a row, he'll take that deal every time. Let's go to Brad in Duncansville. Brad, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Hi, Josh. Hi, Ron. How are you guys?
Hey.
Good, how are you?
Good. I have a Penguin question and a Pirate question for you.
All right.
Ron, my Penguin question for you is, like you said, I heard that the Penguins are looking at Vander Kane, and do you think the Penguins can afford him?
Sure. I think he had a lot of room under the salary cap. They dumped Fleury's contract. They could lose Kunitz here. They are going to have to give raises to guys like Schultz, restricted free agent. Sherry's going to make a lot more money. But I think if they want to bring that guy in, they can. The question is, do you bring him in? He's got a lot of baggage with him. Good player, tough guy, a lot of baggage. That's what you got to weigh. Can you handle him? Can maybe your room wear off on him a little bit? Can the positivity of Sidney Crosby wear off on him? He's a really good player, I think. And Rutherford said the other day, I want to add toughness to our team. He certainly would add toughness.
And my Pirate question for you is, I would like to see the Pirates move McCutchen and Watson and find a good starting pitcher somewhere, if they can.
Well, chances are you might be right about them moving both those guys. I don't know what kind of pitcher they're going to find. Let's see where they are in July. Right now, is again, they're 7 games below 500. Hard for me to take them seriously.
That's really the thing that sticks out. They have about 6 weeks, really, to really figure out what they still are. I know a lot of people are ready to write them off right now. Some people wrote them off in early May, and rightfully so. But the organization itself, as far as the decisions that they make, they still have about 6 weeks to figure out exactly, A, what the market is, B, what other teams need, and C, probably who they measure up with. Now, the one thing we really don't get to see behind closed doors, the thing we don't really hear about, is that teams have discussions that aren't always heard about. It might be something as simple as a 5-second phone call. Hey, are you taking offers for this guy? Yes or no? Then you hang up, and then you call the next guy. So some of those feelers happen during the course of the season. The question is, how much do they start to heat up when we get to July 4th, past the All-Star break, and then closer to the trade deadline? We'll take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll take more phone calls and more tweets. Stick around.